So let's talk about the invisible architecture that connects our entire world. We're going to pull back the curtain on the rules, the testing, and the real-world impact of the wireless technology that, well, powers pretty much everything, from your phone to our hospitals and even our cities. You know, it really is amazing when you stop and think about it. That simple act of sending a text or watching a video involves this incredibly complex, invisible dance of signals that can literally circle the planet in an instant. So, how does this global symphony play in perfect harmony without just collapsing into chaos? Well, it all starts with a solid foundation. So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the architects who actually write the rules. Then we'll hit the proving grounds where all this tech is tested. From there, we'll see it in action everywhere, from your living room to our cities. And finally, we'll look at how this foundation is always changing. All right, let's jump in. Okay, for billions of devices made by thousands of different companies to all speak the same language, you've got to have a shared set of rules. You can think of it like the grammar and vocabulary for all of our digital conversations. So, who exactly are the architects drawing up these crucial blueprints? It really boils down to three main types of organizations. You've got your regulatory bodies, think of them as the government. You've got standards bodies, those are the engineers. And then you have certification groups, who are kind of like the quality inspectors. Each one has a totally distinct and vital role in making our wireless world work. First up, the regulatory bodies. In the US, the big one is the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. And yeah, they're basically the traffic cops of our airwaves. They manage the radio spectrum, which is this finite, incredibly valuable resource, and they decide who gets to use which frequencies. This is exactly what prevents your new smart fridge from messing with a pilot's communication system. Next, you have the standards bodies like the IEEE. So if the FCC sets the rules of the road, the IEEE designs the car itself. They're the ones who created the famous 802.11 standard. That's the fundamental engineering blueprint for what we all know and love as Wi-Fi. They get down into the weeds and define how the tech should work. And finally, we have certification groups like the Wi-Fi Alliance. They give us that all-important stamp of approval. They're the ones testing devices from all these different manufacturers to make absolutely sure that your Samsung phone can talk flawlessly to a Google router. Without them, that little Wi-Fi logo on a box would be a total gamble, not a guarantee. All right, so you've got the rules and the engineering blueprints, but you can't just unleash new technology on millions of people, right? It has to be pushed to its absolute limits in a controlled environment first. So welcome to the proving ground, the lab. Now, in the lab, there are two key tools that sound similar but are totally different. A network simulator lets you build a completely virtual network from scratch, just to see if your basic design makes sense. But a network emulator? That takes it a step further. It lets you test your actual hardware by throwing real-world curveballs at it, like a massive traffic surge or a simulated cyber attack, to see if it breaks. And this testing isn't just a bunch of random button pushing. No way. It follows a really clear four-step process. First, you plan exactly what you need to test. Then you run the tests, either to recreate a problem or prove a new design works. You document everything, and then you analyze all the results. It's how engineers build confidence before anything goes live. And before the big launch, there's one last safety net, the staging environment. Think of it like a final dress rehearsal. A tiny slice of real live user traffic gets diverted to the new system, and engineers watch it like hawks to catch any last-minute surprises before they flip the switch for everyone else. Okay, so we've got the rules, and we've got the rigorous testing that happens behind the scenes. That's the foundation. But where does all this technology actually come to life? Let's get out of the lab and see how this stuff lives and breathes in the world all around us. And we're going to start in the place that's most familiar to every single one of us, our own homes. What used to be a simple convenience has really fast become the central nervous system for our daily lives. Just think about it for a second. It started with just getting our laptops online. Now it's our phones, our smart speakers, our video doorbells, security cameras, even our refrigerators. Wireless has followed us right into the garage, with in-car features that honestly felt like pure science fiction just a decade ago. Our homes are now these incredibly complex, interconnected ecosystems. Okay, let's zoom out from the home now and look at how wireless is transforming our world. Starting in a place where reliable connectivity can literally be a matter of life and death, the hospital. Here, wireless isn't just about convenience, it's about critical care. I mean, look at this. You have nurses using mobile workstations to get patient records right there at the bedside, instantly. Care teams are communicating on wireless badges instead of shouting down a hallway. Patient monitors can automatically alert staff the second something changes. And specialists can even consult from miles away using high-def video. It's a total game changer. From healthcare, let's jump over to the world of retail. This is another area where wireless is completely reinventing things, both for how stores operate behind the scenes and how we as customers actually experience shopping. So, for the store, you've got wireless scanners making inventory tracking a breeze. But for us, it means getting a personalized coupon on our phone as we walk down an aisle. And even better, with mobile checkout systems and contactless payments, the days of waiting in those super long lines are quickly disappearing. For our last example, we're going to zoom out even further, from a single store to an entire city. Yep, cities are using this wireless foundation to become smarter, safer, and way more efficient for everyone living in them. This means creating dedicated, ultra-reliable networks just for police and fire departments so they can communicate during an emergency. It means putting sensors around the city to monitor air quality in real time, and it means blanketing public spaces with Wi-Fi and using connected cameras to manage traffic and improve public safety. So, we've gone all the way from the rulemakers and the test labs to the real-world applications in our homes, our hospitals, and our cities. This foundation is incredibly powerful. But the most exciting part is that it is constantly evolving. This quote just puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? The standards we've been talking about, the early versions of 802.11, they were created long before anyone could have possibly imagined a device like the iPhone. The original architects were building a foundation for a future they literally could not predict. And that really brings us to our final question. This robust, adaptable foundation made a science fiction world of connected tech our everyday reality. It really makes you wonder, as we lay the groundwork for the next generation of wireless, what currently unimaginable world are we building for now?